Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and we have some interesting news. The Geneva Lake Museum, a well established museum in Lake Geneva, is organizing to put together a new exhibit, Birthplace of Imagination Gaming Exhibit. Celebrates the city of Lake Geneva as the birthplace of imagination gaming. I would call it role playing, but all right. And Gary Gygax and the creation of the Dungeons and Dragons game, and now Lake Geneva as the place to visit for gamers from all over the world. Okay, so purpose: build and equip 500 square feet of exhibit space with display cases, wall graphics, themed stained glass, and gaming artifacts. That's roughly, well, not roughly, it is a 20 by 25 room. If you need to visualize it, it could be laid out differently, but that's the area. Supporters, all interested area residents, plus local wizards, dragons, warriors, clerics, and bards. Bards, because you can't say thieves. You're even rogues, right? Probably wouldn't be nice. Funding goal, 20,000. Contribution form attacked. Thanks, Ed Schwinn, president. Ed Schwinn is president of the nonprofit Geneva Lake Museum. He's on that board. So now, why do I find this interesting? And by the way, here's the people that are involved at the museum. And yes, Ed Schwinn, president, board of directors. Okay. Well, it's interesting because, hey, the Gygax Memorial Fund, when you look under projects, says it has two projects: the Gygax Memorial and the Geneva Lake Museum. The Gygax Memorial Fund is working in cooperation with Geneva Lake Museum in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, to produce an exhibit to Gary Gygax and the contributions he made in the world of play in all varied ways while living in Lake Geneva. Now, that's interesting because I don't remember that. I don't. So here, we're going to go back to the Wayback Machine. And if you see the Wayback Machine, it is going back to June 21st, 2017. And our mission, this is the reason why you have the Gygax Memorial Fund, right? These are the reasons that have been stated on every year's tax forms. Now, maybe that's going to change going forward. We only have back until 2019. There was no changes that I noticed on the 2019 forms. Maybe when the 2020 forms are submitted and I can look at them, we'll have a better idea, but maybe they changed it. Because it was to commission and place a memorial in a public park of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, to honor Gary Gygax by commemoration of literary achievement in the creation of Dungeons and Dragons and other published works. Okay. Has never happened, right? We're still waiting on that shit. It's never happened. To maintain this memorial into perpetuity, because they have to, that's part of the approval process. You have to show how you're going to fund the maintenance of this memorial. To sponsor international events open to the public, which focus on his work. Never happened. To engage in other activities related to educating the public about his achievement. Okay, that could be the museum. It still hasn't happened. And to establish a scholarship program in his name for students with a demonstrated need for assistance to study at an accredited college or university. Okay, so there's a lot of things that now maybe we're gonna see a change. Like I said, Paul Stromberg has taken over presidency and leadership of the fund, so maybe that stuff's going forward. But why is this relevant? Well, because Gail Gygax woke up from her slumber. I understand she hasn't shared anything on Facebook in 6 or 7 months. I don't know. I'm blocked. But people are nice enough to give me screenshots, and I go with such. So from earlier today, of course, multiple people sent this to me. God bless them. Wow, the museum project I proposed in 2009 is up and running. A dedication to Gary Gygax and millions of Dungeons and Dragons fans. No mention of it. I went back, by the way, to the earliest of the Wayback Machine on the Gygax Memorial Fund, and there was no mention of it. So if she was proposing this, you'd think she would have mentioned it on the actual fund, but maybe not. I have put on permanent display the original Dungeon Hobby Shop sign. My God, Justin and Ernie are going to be very upset. Come on, that's the dungeon. So where actually is the Dungeon Hobby Shop? She has the sign. While I asked for the museum project, Paul Stormberg and my car have worked diligently to make this happen. Well, I'm sure Paul is involved in updating the memorial site, the Memorial Fund website, which again was down for years. So, and I'm sure he added the museum project to it, but it doesn't. I don't see the evidence that she proposed this in 2009. It could have been in her mind. It could have been something that she would have liked to have seen, but she makes no mention of putting fund monies toward a museum exhibit. When you come to Lake Geneva, be sure to visit the Lake Geneva Museum. There's a typo. Paul has lots of ideas the will be forward with. That's a word salad. I'm not even going to guess what the intention of that means. All very exciting. So please visit. I proposed this project in 2009. She tells us this twice. Okay, so this isn't about the project. Okay, this is about Gail and how the project is happening because of Gail. It's my dream come true. Again, it's a dream that I always thought the dream was everything about the statue, everything about the memorial, but apparently the museum was her dream come true. Now on to the statue project. How fantastic is that? Cheers, Gail Gygax. So I thought that was very interesting because it's more about Gail being responsible for this, right? It's Gail's idea. She proposed it. So if you enjoy the exhibit, you got to thank Gail. And she proposed it 13 years ago because that went stellarly well. So now, as an aside, I went to the Nonprofit Explorer in Geneva Lake Museum, had a revenue in the last quarter year of 189,000 total revenue, expenses of 164,000. It's a legitimate museum, right? There's cash flow, there's cash in, there's cash out. I'm sure there are some salaries paid, but not to the officers, which is nice to see. But there are expenses and there is income. Now, I don't know how the Gygax Memorial Fund is going to assist in this because, well, I mean, uh, revenue in 2019 was $101. I think that's when she gave a shout out to Dave for buying something. 2018, let's see, 2018 doesn't have anything listed. I'd have to dig deeper. 2017, 235. 2016, $10. So I mean, the revenue, the money that came in to the Gygax Memorial Fund came in because of the reprinted AD&D 1 ebooks. Okay, that's where the money was by far mostly generated. This fund has not done any serious fundraising, hasn't gotten contributions. How are they going to help this museum? The fund isn't. Now, Gail might be able. She might have artifacts that she can loan. She's loaning the original Dungeon Hobby Shop sign. But to, I don't know, claim 13 years, for the last 13 years, this was your dream? And nobody knew. I mean, it's good. I'm glad the museum is doing this. I'm sure folks would like an opportunity to see D&D and other related artifacts, gaming material, where they don't have to go to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. But the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum is for profit. The Geneva Lake Museum, is a not for profit. It's a nonprofit, and they're looking to raise $20,000 for this exhibit. If you are somebody who, I know there's an issue when it came to some of the old timers being recruited and asked to donate material to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum, and they were like, "Well, it's a for-profit museum. There's no tax incentive for me to give up relics or collectibles for your museum."
They were asking for donations.
They were asking for donations.
If it's a for-profit thing, you should be buying that shit from people.
Yeah, well, it's a whole.
I don't get it.
Yeah, But if you donate to the Geneva Lake Museum, they are, as you can see on the screen, they're a nonprofit.
You get the tax paper and
Yes.
everything.
So
okay, so it's legit.
it's legit. Okay. So if you are going to, if you have questions about where should I donate, and I'm not saying you shouldn't donate to the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. Just realize there's no financial incentive for you to do so. There's no tax benefit for you to do so. And Geneva Lake Museum certainly looks like they put on a very good professional side of the business. So, but you can thank Gail for the D&D exhibit, I guess, right? Come on. All right, folks. On that note, we are still in the midst of the world of COVID. What does that mean? It quite simply means use your common sense. Things have improved. Things are getting better. It's still not gone. Use your common sense. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And God willing, I will be back again tomorrow. All right, folks. Much thanks. And why can't I hit the button? Hit the button, damn it.